My dear viewers, beginning today is the official Alliteration Gaming Patreon and channel members. Throughout my Patreon, we've got quite a few tiers you can check out in order to gain special perks and even commission videos that you'd like to see me upload onto the channel. Every tier includes a shout out on my supporter card at the beginning of all of my videos, along with the benefits of the tier itself. Following that, you can now also join the Alliteration Nation by becoming a channel member on the YouTube side of things. Pledging your subscription here as a member of the channel is going to grant you the same shout out on my supporter card as all the Patreon tiers do, as well as access to the members only channel on my Discord. You'll gain a member badge that will level up as you stay subscribed and access to my exclusive emotes when I stream on YouTube. If you're interested in checking out the Patreon, I'm going to have the link in the description and in the pinned comment down below, as well as the link to my Discord should you want to join that as well. And if you want to become a channel member, the big beautiful join button is front and center on my homepage right here. And if you do decide to support the channel in any way whatsoever, know that I am unimaginably grateful, and I can't wait to provide you with even more top-notch content at my trademark top speed. Additionally, it's time for the return of the referral code. If you're new here and you're just getting into the game, you've got to make an account on the Universe's gaming network. When you're signing up, you can use my exclusive referral code Alliteration to let Jasco know that I brought you on board, which directly supports me and my work. Having an account on the UGN site is going to allow you to sign up for tournaments, participate in events, locate stores that support the game near you, and much more. Playing in events and or mailing in pack wrappers is actually going to accrue loyalty points onto your account, which you'll then be able to redeem for exclusive promo cards in the mail for absolutely free. An account on here is an integral part of playing this game, so make sure you sign up and you use my code Alliteration to help me continue doing what I love. I would really appreciate the support. You guys absolutely killed it on the last one with all of the signups, and I am really excited to run it back with you all. Now, let's get on to the video. Good evening, my dear viewers, and welcome to another Alliteration gaming video. My name is Levi, and it's character spotlight time once more. The subject of today's showcase is a pick coming from Thomas Redman over on the Patreon, and he's going to be bringing another League of Villains member into the limelight. Today, we're going to be turning our eyes over to the big sister of the League, Magne. Magne is a 6-hand size character with 27 health and the all chaos and order symbols. She's got a pair of enhances that together are going to reflect her mastery over polarity. Magne is able to take any attack that's an even damage number and apply both 1 speed and 1 damage to it. On the other side of things, we can apply -1 speed and 1 damage to attacks that pack an odd damage number. Even becomes odd and odd becomes even. This leads Magne to some very interesting deck building choices, as you want your own attacks to start even so that you can buff them up, but by that same nature, you want to be able to keep your rivals' attacks odd so you can always be applying those debuffs to them. Now let's look at Magne's response, because it's another way to reflect the power of magnetism in her character card. She's going to allow you to commit 1 foundation to lock your rival's attack into their card pool once you completely block it. This means it will not go to their momentum, nor will it leave their card pool at the end of the turn, even if it dealt damage like a throw. This is a very dangerous ability, forcing your rival to start out with a card in your pool going into your turn, effectively adding +1 speed to all of your own attacks. These abilities really all work in tandem to give Magne a lot of defensive power to enable her response and disrupt the rival, as well as work towards making some seriously powerful moves of her own once all of those buffs start stacking up. With Magne, you'll be able to attract and repulse you and your rival's attacks to always tilt in your favor and apply magnetic forces so strong your rival's cards won't even be able to leave. Now when it comes to attacking, Magne has some really unique synergies going on with her character. The first of them being that she's a character with the ability to increase speed and damage, meaning certain attacks that benefit from that are a must in her. Frozen Slash is the best of these, since not only does it have an amazing buff when it gets that speed and damage increase, it also starts at an even number, so it's already conditionless. Dark Shadow Ruin and Blazing Icicle can see some similar rewards, but they do start out odd, so you'll have to find 1 damage on them somewhere elsewhere so that Magne can double buff them. Throws that start out at an even damage are also at a premium in her, since that 1 damage that you get to put onto them makes them cross that half block damage threshold, effectively reading as a direct burn damage. Now Magne isn't gated by keywords, so you're more than welcome to consider any generic staple cards across her 3 symbols, especially ones that start at an even damage. Tape Stream Jab can fill the rival's pool even more, Final Smash is just a cheap pile of stats, and it's just rare to see decks without Electric Jolt or Vile Seizing on their symbols. That being said, you also should not ignore any attacks just because they're an odd damage number. Things like Hardened Uppercut and 1.3 million volts are very strong power cards on their symbols, and we're definitely going to be packing lots of incidental damage pump inside of our deck just to make sure that our attacks are always available for that positive polarity interaction. Now, while I did say Magne isn't keyword gated, you should still be looking for the ranged keyword a lot if you're on Chaos and or Order to take full advantage of stuff like Blazing Icicle and Frozen Slash that we saw earlier. Lastly, Magne is a character that wants to make sure she can execute some potent blocks as well to ensure that we're responding each turn and locking their cards in place. So we want to keep defense in mind a little bit in our attacks as well. We can find some really nice breakers across all three of our symbols with some very nice synergies within them as well. Sticky Ball Whale only needs to see your rival block once to activate itself in tandem with our response, while Copy Harden's damage pump brings it to an even number that we can then apply our buffs to. Ice Storm is of course the cream of the crop with its powerful Breaker 2 continuing the ranged keyword and starting out at an even damage number. Breaker is not where it stops though, because we can also find some powerful defensive utility in things like Red Guard with its Omni Block ability and Cheerful Uppercut's power to slow down our rival with even more cards into their pool. Now when it comes to foundations, this is really where Magne is going to make us break out the math textbooks. When it comes to making sure that all your attacks can find an even damage number, your stage is going to have your back. We do not want to keep ourselves from putting great attacks into our deck just because they don't start out at even damage. So our stage should have plenty of cards that not only pump damage, but pump the right damage. What I mean by that is when it comes to making an odd attack into an even attack that we can buff, you're always going to want odd damage increases. Most commonly, this will be either 1 or 3. A 3 damage attack will become 4 or 6, a 5 damage attack will become 6 or 8, and so on and so forth. This means +1 damage cards are all the rage. No matter what symbol you're on, it'll never be a challenge to find some of the most free incidental +1 damages in things like Basic Training and Revel's Masterpiece. We can find some utility in some of these too though, such as Think Fast, buffing both of our stats just like our character, and interacting very well with Tape Swing, and of course Self-Sacrifice being an amazing spam and being able to also even out your rival's moves. Remember that math we did for evening out our offense? Well, speaking about our rival's moves, we're going to apply that math on the inverse when it comes to defense. If your rival is already throwing odd damage moves at you, then you don't even have to worry. You're going to get your free stat reduction for days. But when they're doing their best to play around you and keep their moves even, we're going to bust out the calculators to bring things back into our favor. Just like with our increases, we're going to want all of our decreases to be those odd damage increments as well, since an odd decrease will always make an even attack odd. A 4 damage move becomes 3 or 1, a 6 damage move becomes 5 or 3, and so on. Order stands out strong here with all of the powerful ways to do it. Defrosting can always be a -2 speed total and also even out your own moves in a pinch. Bonds of Friendship gives you a whopping -4 damage total on those Fury moves, and Creepy can come in with just massive debuffs as well as massive increases when your rival is always starting with a single card in their pool. We can also look to some handy things like Challenging the Fakes and Sense of Justice to help curve out our rivals' moves even more with both large and small odd number increments. Now with all that talk about reducing damage, we cannot let ourselves forget about reducing speed. Magne is a character who really wants to full block at least once every turn, so let's not forget to put all of our symbols' most premium speed reduction pieces into our decks. The biggest ones like Specialist of Sound, Graceful Maneuvers, and Heroic Lineage are all paramount to keeping moves blockable. A very cute interaction that Magne can even do in a desperate situation is use her even number enhance on a rival's move, buffing it just to force a response from Heroic Lineage for an emergency -2 speed total. Speaking of survival tools, we can also utilize things like Sticky Balls to keep our rival's pool even more filled up, or Spooky to 0 damage out our rival's moves, or just to force their odd speed number into an odd damage number that we can then decrease. In the Typhoon, it's also pretty cool to guarantee our response as well as Self-Assured's zone manipulation just to make sure that we're never caught half blocking and missing our response window because of it. Now when it comes to assets, we really have a star player in Suited Up. Releasing alongside her in the Plus Ultra 4-pack, Suited Up is one of the strongest things Magne can be doing and a huge reason to push her to the order symbol. Being able to essentially double all of our decreases and increases is very, very powerful and gives her a huge boost on both turns. It is also very easy for us to commit, since our character has a commit foundation cost on face to open us up to those really consistent speed reductions on defense. Quick creation is another great consideration for more damage decreasing, and ultra compressed weights can give us even more options for locking our rivals' cards into place and kind of continuing that theme. Lastly, order continues to eat even more when it comes to our actions, because Showdown is a massive play in our deck. Being able to fully block a high attack, commit 2 of their foundations, and then lock their attack in the pool for our turn can set us up for some massive backswing potential. Symbol of Peace has also very good interactions with Magne, as its draw power basically always starts at 2, since our rival is going to have an attack stuck in place from the last turn. Not to mention, Teamwork's 5 damage boost is an odd number, meaning it's always going to even out our odd damage attacks. That's going to conclude our showcase today on Magne. Big thanks again to Thomas Redmond for commissioning this video, and if you want your own video just like this or want to check out any of my other video commission tiers, I'm going to have my Patreon link down below where you can check out all of those options to have an impact on the type of content that I make. And if you want to support even further while you're down there, I would love the like button to be hit or just a nice positive comment down there in the section. Above all else though, thanks just for making it to the end of this video. That's all the time I have for today, but I hope I see you in tomorrow's upload.